Hello there, Ray here. Today, I would like to provide you guys with my world download of my dog farm. In the last episode of ProtoTech, we built up this dog farm to give everybody dogs for Christmas. Now today, I'm going to show you this farm as well as go over the sorter, which is over in another dimension, which is something I didn't go over in the episode. One thing that people ask is if they could build this farm on top of the island rather than dig a hole and place it at the very bottom of the world. Now you can do this, but I'm just going to show you a mod explaining why, the reason we actually dig a hole and place it at the very bottom of the world. Using a mod by Omeganix, one of the ProtoTech members, we can visually see the mob spawning. This is a utility mod and allows us to see every little square the game is attempting to spawn in a mob. As you notice over here, there is tons of attempts way up high up in the air, where over here where there's more of a level spot, it's about sea level, all the spawning attempts are down at the very lowest part of the ground. It shows you that the game is attempting to spawn stuff based on how high the blocks are, and you can see the blocks down here are quite low, so there's no mobs that are up high in the air. Where over here, there's blocks very high up in the air, and the game is attempting to spawn mobs all the way up to that height. Now this makes it quite a bit slower because the game is attempting to spawn all these mobs, even though these are failing. Where something down low here, it has more concentration of mobs because they only have to check a smaller amount of area. This is why it's better for you to build your farm down lower so that the game concentrates the mobs down there rather than up high in the air where the game is attempting to spawn mobs all throughout the entire height, even though all these attempts are failing. To make it easy on yourself, you want to find yourself a small forest island like I did here, and then make sure the islands around it don't have any grass, so either remove it or just check for that. Then when you place the farm down, you can either dig down and place it at the bottom of the world like I did on ProTech, which would increase the rates, or you can even just place it here on the top of the island. As long as you remove the grass around here, it should be fine. Up here it's a little bit slower, but you'll just AFK a little bit longer to get the same amount of dogs as if you had built it down below. You want to make sure that the dirt around the edges here is not too close to dirt or the grass inside, or else the grass will spread to it. And from here, it's pretty good. But to make sure that the passive mobs will be able to spawn in here, you want to make sure that your spawn chunks don't have any passive mobs in it. If they do have passive mobs, just name them with a name tag, and they won't no longer count towards it. If you do have grass in your spawn chunks, you might want to go ahead and remove that grass because the game will attempt to put more passive mobs there, which will hold up the mob cap. But once the mobs are all gone, then you'll have all the mobs spawning inside of your farm here. Now, when you're AFKing this farm, you want to be at least 30 meters away from the spawning pads. You can AFK above it, just don't AFK directly above it. You can AFK to the side here, that way you're not placing blocks over top of it. Once you have built up the farm, you then will want to link up this nether portal with the nether portal that's in the nether dimension. So there's two portals here, but they'll both link up to one portal once they go over into the nether. Find the coordinates, we'll just pull up F3, we'll look at the coordinates, it's negative 122, Y level 76, and 1020, about 1024 there. So what we do is just take those coordinates and we divide the first and the last ones by 8, and the middle one we'll use. So we end up with a coordinate of negative 15, and for the Z we got 108. Now the Y coordinate will keep about the same, but we'll lower it a little bit, so we'll just go with Y level 66. So let's go over the nether dimension and find those coordinates to link up the nether portal. Now we're in the nether dimension, and I moved the nether portal down to about the same Y level as we have it over in the overall. This will just prevent it from accidentally linking up with other nether portals if you happen to have them in the area. Now this will be the portal which all the mobs will come through. Now we just need to build up the sorters, which will sort the dogs away from the chickens and the pigs. I built up the sorter here to sort out the dogs away from the chickens and the pigs, so all the mobs will come through this portal here. They won't really walk around because the player won't be here. The player will be AFKing in overworld, but they will be able to push each other out through the portal. So they get pushed over onto this side. Let's put another chicken in there. From here, we'll be able to sort them. As you can see, the pigs get pulled over this way, and then the chickens as well as dogs get shoved over here. Once we have sorted out the pigs, then we can come in and sort out the chickens as well as the dogs. So the chickens get pushed over here, and they're just killed with some magma block. If you want to, you can keep the loots. You can pick them up with a hopper minecart. And then the dogs get pulled over here. We got a whole bunch of dogs from testing. It works really efficiently. So the pistons are set on a hopper clock here, which goes off ever so often. I got about 2 stacks of items in there. This allows it so that the pulse will come over here and just pulse this piston, and then it'll come over here and pulse this piston. Timings don't have to be perfect, just so that you don't have so many mobs that causes max cramming to occur. Now down below here, you can see all the wolves are inside of here, and I think they are just at the brink of max cramming because I've been AFKing quite a bit. If you want to prevent them from getting max cramming, you might want to separate them or put a vine in there. We're able to sort these wolves away from the chickens and pigs while the player is still aping an overworld. This is done by a discovery that I made, which is interdimensional chunk loading, which allows us to make this chunk an entity processing chunk, which means that mobs and stuff can be moved around inside of it without any player being in this dimension. So the way that I did this is that I put the majority of the machine inside of one chunk. As you can see, the portal as well as everywhere where the entities move are all inside this chunk. Then I went above here on top of the nether ceiling and put in a chunk loader, which is a bunch of hoppers pointing outward. Now every time a mob will go through the nether portal, it will load this chunk. Then these chunk loaders, which are hoppers pointing to other chunks, will load other chunks around it. This will load a 5x5 area of chunks, which will make the center one an entity processing chunk. Because of this, we are able to move these entities around and sort them while there's no player here. If you would like to build up my dog farm in your very own world, I will provide the world download to this world down in the description. So if you found this interesting, show me a like. If you'd like to see other unique farms like this, subscribe, and don't forget to comment.